Before we go further into the course, we want to introduce ourselves properly. We are Arluna Celestial, and our journey with pendulums and psychic work spans a lifetime. I first became aware of my psychic abilities at the age of 4. I was attending a large 50th wedding anniversary celebration in London in the 1960s when, at the far end of the hall, a commotion started. The lights flickered, the band stopped playing, and my parents looked concerned. Without hesitation, I turned to them and said, "It's the lady whose party this is. She has had a bleed on her brain, but she will be back from the hospital in 3 days." My parents looked at me as if I had 2 heads. But sure enough, 3 days later, they received a call confirming she had just returned home after suffering a minor stroke. Since then, my psychic abilities have continued to develop. I've had numerous premonitions, including accurately predicting the disappearance of Flight MH370. My path has led me to become a Reiki Grandmaster, a medium, a tarot reader, and of course a dowser, using both rods and pendulums.
My journey into the spiritual realm also began at an early age. Over 40 years ago, I attended a funeral in a small town I had never visited before. Yet as I walked through the town, I instinctively knew my way around. I recognized streets, landmarks, and even the names of people I had never met. It was a profound experience that confirmed my deep connection with past lives and spiritual intuition. Since then, I have become a Reiki Grandmaster, a Pendulum Dowser, a tarot reader, and an author of tarot books. My abilities include trance mediumship and past life regression work, helping people uncover their soul's journey.
Together, we bring our lifelong experiences to this course, sharing knowledge that will help you unlock the full potential of your pendulum. We have seen firsthand how pendulums provide clarity, guidance, and validation in both personal and professional spiritual work.
We're excited to take this journey with you, teaching you how to use your pendulum with confidence and precision. Now, let's dive into the fascinating world of pendulum mastery. Choosing the right pendulum is a deeply personal process, and it's important to select one that resonates with your energy. Your pendulum will be an extension of your intuition, so trust your instincts when making your choice. Pendulums can be made from a variety of materials, each with its own unique energy and properties. Let's go through some common types. Crystal pendulums. Crystals hold energy and amplify intentions. For example, clear quartz is great for general use because it enhances clarity and intuition, while amethyst is wonderful for spiritual work and higher guidance. If you seek protection, black tourmaline can shield you from negative energy. Metal pendulums. These are often used for precision and accuracy. Copper, for instance, is highly conductive and can enhance energetic connections, making it great for those working with subtle energy fields. Wooden pendulums. Wood is a very grounding material, making these pendulums ideal for nature-based practices. They're great if you want a softer, more organic connection in your divination work. Spiral and chambered pendulums. Some pendulums come in unique designs like spirals, which enhance the flow of energy, or chambered pendulums, which allow you to place herbs, oils, or intentions inside them for added personalization. A great way to choose a pendulum is to hold it in your palm and pay attention to how it feels. Does it feel warm, tingly, or like it's pulling toward you? Some people even feel a subtle vibration. This is your intuition guiding you toward the right one. Another method is to use a pendulum to choose itself. Hold each pendulum in your dominant hand and ask, "Are you the right pendulum for me?" Observe its movement. If it swings positively, then it's the right choice. If it remains still or gives a no response, try another one. If you're buying online, look for pendulums made from materials that resonate with your energy. Trust your instincts. If you keep returning to one particular pendulum, that's usually a sign it's meant for you. Remember, your pendulum will grow with you on your spiritual journey. Choose one that excites and inspires you, and it will become a trusted tool in your divination practice.
Pendulum divination is a powerful and ancient practice that allows us to access higher wisdom, connect with our intuition, and receive clear guidance on various aspects of life. Whether you seek answers about personal matters, career choices, relationships, or spiritual growth, your pendulum can serve as a direct link between your conscious mind and the deeper, unseen energies of the universe. In this lecture, we'll explore the art of pendulum divination in great detail. You'll learn how to properly hold and use your pendulum, the importance of establishing a clear communication system, how to ask precise and effective questions, how to interpret the movements of your pendulum, ways to enhance your intuition for more accurate readings, common mistakes, and how to avoid them. By the end of this lesson, you'll have the confidence and skill to use your pendulum as a powerful divination tool, whether for personal guidance or helping others on their spiritual journey. So let's begin. Your pendulum acts as an amplifier of your inner wisdom and spiritual guidance. It doesn't generate answers on its own, but rather it picks up on subtle energy shifts from your subconscious, your higher self, spirit guides, or the universal field of knowledge. Some believe that the pendulum connects with our higher self, the part of us that exists beyond our conscious mind and has access to deeper wisdom. Others feel it channels guidance from spirit guides, ancestors, or even divine beings. Regardless of the perspective, the key to successful pendulum work is trust and an open mind. Your body also plays a role in pendulum divination. Tiny, involuntary muscle movements, called the ideomotor response, help guide the pendulum's swing. This doesn't mean you're controlling it consciously. Rather, your subconscious is influencing the movement based on the information it picks up. The more you practice, the stronger and clearer your connection will become. Before we start asking questions, let's make sure you're holding your pendulum in the best way for clear and accurate readings. Find a quiet space. Choose a calm, distraction-free environment where you can focus. Relax your body and mind. Take a few deep breaths to center yourself. If needed, meditate for a moment to clear your mind. Hold the chain or cord lightly. Using your dominant hand, hold the chain between your thumb and forefinger, allowing the pendulum to dangle freely. Keep a comfortable distance. Ideally, your pendulum should be about 2 to 3 inches above the surface below it. Some people like to rest their elbow on a table to keep their hand steady. Stay still and focused. Keep your hand relaxed but steady. If your hand is tense, it may interfere with natural movement. Before using your pendulum for divination, you need to establish how it will communicate with you. Each person's pendulum may move differently, so don't assume it will react the same way as someone else's. The yes-no maybe test. Hold your pendulum steady and ask it, "Show me yes." Observe how it moves. Does it swing forward and backward, side to side, in a clockwise or counterclockwise circle? Now ask, "Show me no." Again, watch its movement carefully. It should be different from the yes response. Finally ask, "Show me maybe" or "uncertain." Sometimes, a pendulum will move in a small, unclear motion or swing diagonally when the answer isn't definitive. If your pendulum doesn't move at first, don't worry. Relax and try again. Sometimes it takes a few tries for your pendulum to wake up and sync with your energy. Once you establish your yes-no responses, practice a few known questions to confirm consistency. For example, is my name Michael? For me, it should respond with yes. Am I wearing a red shirt? If you're not, it should respond with no. This step is crucial because it builds trust between you and your pendulum. The more you practice, the clearer and faster the responses will become. Asking the right kind of question is key to getting useful and accurate answers. Here are some important guidelines. Be clear and specific. Avoid vague questions like, "Will I be happy?" Instead, ask, "If I continue on my current path, will I feel more fulfilled in the next 6 months?" Ask one question at a time. Instead of "Should I move or should I stay?" break it into 2 questions. Would it be in my best interest to move? Would it be better for me to stay where I am? Use time frames when necessary. If asking about the future, specify a time frame. Will I find a new job within the next 3 months? Be open to the answer. If you have a strong emotional attachment to an outcome, your subconscious may influence the pendulum. Stay neutral and trust the process. Beyond yes-no responses, your pendulum can give deeper insights through its movements. Strong, clear swings indicates confidence and clarity in the answer. Slow or hesitant swings may indicate uncertainty or the need for rewording the question. Chaotic or erratic movements, the energy may be disrupted. Take a break, cleanse the pendulum, and try again later. No movement at all. The question may be unclear, or your energy may not be aligned in that moment. If your pendulum's responses seem inconsistent, cleanse it, reset your yes-no responses, and try again. A pendulum board expands your readings beyond simple yes-no answers. Some boards include letters of the alphabet to spell out words, numbers for dates, times, or numerical guidance. Specific phrases like rephrase the question, unclear, or try again later. To use a pendulum board, hold your pendulum over the center of the board. Ask your question clearly. Observe where the pendulum moves. It may point to a letter, number, or word. If using letters, allow your pendulum to spell out a message. This method is great for deeper spiritual communication, including connecting with spirit guides or past life inquiries. Common mistakes and how to avoid them. Repeating the same question too many times. Accept the first answer instead of trying to force a different one. Using the pendulum. When emotional or stressed, your subconscious may influence the response. Wait until you're calm. Skipping the cleansing step. Regularly cleanse your pendulum to prevent external energies from interfering with accuracy. Forgetting to set intentions. Always affirm that you're seeking guidance from the highest and most truthful source. Now let's do a quick practice together. Hold your pendulum steady. Ask it to show you yes and no. Ask a simple question you already know the answer to. Observe its movement and note the response. With consistent practice, your pendulum will become an invaluable tool for insight, clarity, and decision-making. One of the most important skills when working with a pendulum is mastering the art of asking clear, precise questions. The accuracy of your answers depends not just on your connection with the pendulum, but also on how well you frame your inquiry. A vague question leads to vague answers. A precise question leads to clarity. Let us share with you a real-life experience that taught us a valuable lesson about the importance of asking the right questions. Our story. A lesson in questioning. Years ago, we applied for a job that we were very interested in. Being experienced pendulum users, we decided to ask our pendulum about the outcome. We held our pendulum and asked, "Will we get this job?" The pendulum swung in a clear yes. Encouraged by this, we asked, "Will we do well in this job?" Again, the pendulum confirmed with another yes. Confident in our answers, we walked into the interview with high hopes. To our surprise, we were turned down for the job. This left us confused and questioning our trust in the pendulum. How could it have been so wrong, we had asked, and it had given us a clear answer. Fast forward 3 years later. We applied for a job again, and as we arrived for the interview, we suddenly realized it was the same job, the same company, the same role, just a few years later. This time, we were successful, and we stayed in the job for several years, performing well and thriving in the role. It was only then that we truly understood the lesson our pendulum had been trying to teach us. The first time we asked, "Will we get this job?" We never specified when. Our pendulum had indeed been correct, but it answered the question as it was asked. We would get the job, just not at that moment. The pendulum is an amazing tool, but it doesn't work in absolutes unless you give it precise parameters to work with. This experience taught us a vital lesson. Clarity in questioning is everything. The importance of clarity in questioning. A pendulum works within the energy you provide it. It doesn't interpret meaning the way a human mind does. It simply responds to the structure of the question. To ensure accuracy, you need to eliminate vagueness and refine your questioning techniques. Here are some key principles to keep in mind. Be specific with your timeline. Instead of asking, "Will I get the job?" ask, "Will I be offered this job within the next 3 months?" Instead of, "Will I move to a new home?" ask, "Will I move to a new home before the end of this year?" Ask one question at a time. Avoid asking compound questions like, "Will I get this job and be happy in it?" Your pendulum may not be able to provide a clear answer to both parts at once. Use clear, unambiguous language. Avoid general questions like, "Will I be successful?" Instead, define success. Do you mean financial success, career success, personal fulfillment? Ask about the present. Before the future, before asking, "Will I succeed in this project?" First ask, "Is this project aligned with my highest good?" Before asking, "Should I take this opportunity?" First ask, "Do I have all the necessary information to make this decision?" Your questions for consistency. If your pendulum gives uncertain or conflicting answers, rephrase your question and try again. The clarity of your question directly affects the clarity of your response. Practice exercise, refining your pendulum questions. To help you sharpen your questioning skills, try this simple exercise. Write down a broad question you would typically ask. For example, "Will I find love?" Refine it into a more specific version. For example, "Will I meet a compatible romantic partner within the next 6 months?" Test both questions with your pendulum. See how it responds and compare the clarity of the answers. Over time, You'll develop a more intuitive sense of how to ask the right questions and receive the most accurate guidance. Final thoughts. Our journey taught us a profound lesson. The pendulum is never wrong, but our questions sometimes are. By learning to ask the right questions, you'll unlock the full power of your pendulum and gain clear, precise guidance on your spiritual path. Take your time, refine your skills, and trust the process. Happy dowsing!
Your pendulum is more than just a tool. It's a sacred object, an extension of your energy, and a trusted spiritual ally. Just like any powerful instrument, it requires proper care, respect, and attention to maintain its effectiveness. In this lecture, we'll explore the best ways to store your pendulum for protection and longevity, how to energetically maintain and recharge your pendulum, the do's and don'ts of handling your pendulum, how to form a deeper, more personal bond with your pendulum over time. By the end of this lesson, you'll know how to keep your pendulum in optimal condition so that it remains a reliable guide for years to come. Let's begin. Your pendulum is constantly interacting with different energies. Every time you use it for divination, healing, or spiritual work, it absorbs and transmits energy. Just like a battery, it can become drained, cluttered, or even slightly distorted if not cared for properly. Neglecting to cleanse and store your pendulum correctly can lead to less accurate readings due to residual or conflicting energies, physical wear and tear on delicate pendulum materials, energetic contamination from other people or objects, a weakened connection between you and your pendulum. Taking care of your pendulum is a way of showing respect and gratitude for its guidance. The more you honor it, the stronger your connection will be. When not in use, your pendulum should be stored safely to prevent both physical and energetic damage. Here are some of the best ways to store it. One of the simplest and most effective ways to store your pendulum is in a soft pouch made of natural materials like silk, velvet, or cotton. This protects it from dust, scratches, and unwanted energetic interference. Keeps your pendulum physically safe from damage. Prevents energetic contamination from other objects. Easy to carry when traveling or on the go. Some people like to keep a small piece of selenite or clear quartz inside the pouch to help keep the pendulum energetically cleansed. A small wooden or crystal box can serve as a beautiful and protective home for your pendulum. Wood has natural grounding properties, keeping your pendulum energetically balanced. Crystal boxes, especially amethyst or selenite, continuously cleanse and charge the pendulum while it's stored. If using a wooden box, you can line it with silk or natural fabric for extra protection. If you use your pendulum frequently, keeping it on your altar or sacred space can be a great option. Keeps your pendulum in a high energy space. Allows for easy access during spiritual practices. Strengthens your connection by making it a part of your daily rituals. Place your pendulum on a selenite charging plate or next to a spiritual object that holds positive energy. Some people prefer to hang their pendulum on a stand or hook when not in use. Keeps the chain from tangling. Prevents unnecessary wear and tear on delicate chains. Keeps the pendulum in an open, energetically free state. If hanging your pendulum, choose a location where it won't be exposed to direct sunlight for long periods, as some crystals may fade. Just like any spiritual tool, your pendulum needs regular energetic maintenance to stay aligned and effective. Your pendulum should be cleansed after every intense or emotionally charged reading, anytime someone else has touched it, after being stored for a long period without use. Some effective cleansing methods include smoke cleansing with sage, palo santo, or incense, placing it on a selenite charging plate, leaving it in moonlight overnight, running it under natural spring water, if water safe. Just as cleansing removes unwanted energy, charging your pendulum refills it with positive energy. Great ways to charge your pendulum include placing it in sunlight or moonlight. Full moon energy is especially potent. Burying it in the earth for 24 hours to reconnect it with natural energy. Holding it between your hands and infusing it with intention. Try not to store your pendulum near electronics, clutter, or objects that hold heavy energy. If your pendulum ever feels off or sluggish, it may have picked up unwanted vibrations. A quick cleansing should restore its energy. The do's and don'ts of pendulum care. Do store your pendulum in a dedicated sacred space. Do cleanse it regularly, especially after heavy use. Do handle it with care and respect. Do set clear intentions before using it. Do keep it away from harsh chemicals or direct heat. Don't let just anyone handle your pendulum without permission. Don't store it in chaotic or cluttered environments. Don't forget to cleanse it after emotionally intense readings. Don't use it while feeling highly emotional or distracted. Don't drop or mishandle it, as this can physically or energetically damage it, bonding with your pendulum. The more you work with your pendulum, the stronger your connection will become. Here are a few ways to deepen your bond. Meditate with your pendulum. Hold your pendulum during meditation and visualize a strong, clear connection between you and your tool. You can even ask it to show you energy movements or align your chakras. Carry it with you. If you feel particularly connected to your pendulum, carrying it in your pocket or bag in a pouch can strengthen your energetic link. Give it a name. Some people find that naming their pendulum helps create a stronger sense of partnership. You might receive a name intuitively, or you can use your pendulum to ask what it would like to be called. Talk to it like a friend. Your pendulum is an extension of your intuition, so treat it with care and respect. Many experienced practitioners find that speaking to their pendulum, thanking it after readings, and handling it with love strengthens their connection. Caring for your pendulum isn't just about keeping it clean and stored safely. It's about honoring the sacred relationship between you and your spiritual tool. When you treat your pendulum with respect and maintain its energy, it will serve as a clear and powerful guide on your journey. Before moving on to the next lecture, take a moment to cleanse and charge your pendulum using one of the methods we've discussed. Then, store it in a way that feels right to you. Before using your pendulum for the first time, and regularly throughout your practice, it's important to cleanse and charge it. Pendulums absorb energy, and without proper cleansing, residual energies can interfere with your readings. Think of it like tuning an instrument. A well-maintained pendulum will give you the clearest and most accurate results. There are several effective ways to cleanse your pendulum, and the method you choose should align with your practice and intuition. Here are some of the best methods. Salt cleansing. Bury your pendulum in a bowl of sea salt or Himalayan salt overnight. This method is especially good for removing heavy or lingering energies. If using a crystal pendulum, check if it is salt safe. Some crystals, like selenite, can be damaged by salt. Moonlight and sunlight. Placing your pendulum under the full moon is one of the most powerful ways to cleanse and recharge it. If you prefer, sunlight can also be used, but be mindful. Some crystals, like amethyst and rose quartz, can fade with prolonged sun exposure. Smoke cleansing, smudging. Pass your pendulum through the smoke of sacred herbs like sage, palo santo, or incense. This is a quick and effective method that works well for regular maintenance. Sound cleansing. Use a singing bowl, tuning fork, or chime to cleanse your pendulum with sound vibrations. The frequencies help to clear any stagnant energy. Running water. Hold your pendulum under cool running water for a few moments. Natural spring water or rainwater works best. Again, check if your pendulum's material is water safe. Once your pendulum is cleansed, you'll want to charge it with your personal energy and intention. Here's how. Hold it in your hands. Sit quietly and hold your pendulum between your palms. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and visualize white light surrounding it. Set an intention, such as, this pendulum will provide clear, truthful guidance. Use a crystal charging plate. Placing your pendulum on a selenite slab or quartz cluster overnight can help recharge and amplify its energy. Leave it in natural elements. Place your pendulum on the earth, in a bowl of herbs, or on a windowsill where it can soak up natural energy. Now that your pendulum is cleansed and charged, it's ready for use. Making cleansing and charging a regular part of your practice will ensure your pendulum remains a powerful and accurate spiritual tool.